1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so Trump and the Republicans haven't been in power that long, and they have already caused tremendous damage. We have 1 year until the midterms and 3 years until Trumpy relinquishes power, willingly, hopefully. But they have already caused an insane amount of damage to the U.S. economy and to Americans. So buckle up, because more damage to come in the next 3 years, and consumer sentiment is plummeting because they know how bad the situation is and how much worse it has become since Republicans have taken office. Let's take a look at this. Trump lied again, saying gas prices, groceries, energy prices, and inflation are all down. That's exactly what he's going around telling everyone. Hey, MAGA, take a look at your grocery bills. Believe your eyes when you see rising prices, not your dear leader, Donald Trump. Take a look at this. Grocery prices up 2.7%. Utilities up 11%. ACA premiums up 26%. Because remember, Republicans don't want to extend Obamacare subsidies. So your premiums are going to skyrocket, double and triple, 26%. Overall consumer prices up 3%. And Trump is going around telling everyone he doesn't want to hear about affordability. He doesn't want to hear it. Take a look at this.
Inflation is way down. The biggest thing is inflation. The second biggest thing is energy. Energy is way down. And what's also down? Gasoline. Also, the biggest thing is inflation, and it's way down. The reason I don't want to talk about affordability is because everybody knows that it's far less expensive under Trump.
So while he's going around telling Americans he doesn't want to hear about affordability and that you shouldn't believe your eyes when you go to the grocery aisle and see all of the expensive prices, that you shouldn't believe your eyes when you see rising rent and the unaffordability of housing, you shouldn't believe your eyes when it comes to anything that's going on in the economy, that you should just believe Donald Trump, consumer sentiment is plummeting, the worst numbers in the history of a presidency, because consumers know. They know that it is terrible. The economy is terrible, and they know that the future in the next 3 years during Republican rule, it's going to be miserable, and it's just going to get worse. Take a look at this.
Take a look here. This is consumer sentiment, the current conditions. Consumer sentiment can be the current conditions or it can be future expectations. We're looking at current conditions. And get this, according to the University of Michigan, we are dealing with the worst ever view of current conditions dating all the way back since 1951. This is record-breaking in the way you don't want to be breaking records. And get this, Kate, it is down 30%. Consumer sentiment of current conditions down 30% from January when Donald Trump took office. No bueno.
So consumer sentiment is plummeting. Obviously, it's obviously plummeting because everybody knows how tragic the situation is, how devastatingly bad the Republicans have been for the American economy, whether it's housing, whether it's rent, whether it's groceries, whether it's inflation, whether it's healthcare, you name it, they have completely failed. Americans right now are just working to survive. Check this out. Rent has gotten so expensive that Americans are left with nothing from their paychecks after paying it. After going to school for 10 years, paid my rent this morning, happy to report that I had a whopping $47 left in my bank account. I spent 10 years of my life in school getting an education to get a job that was supposed to provide me with job security and financial security, only to kill myself every day to work to be able to afford just a roof over my head. So families can't even afford to go on vacation with their kids. They can afford just the bare necessities. They can't even afford to save for retirement because wages aren't keeping up with inflation, because grocery prices and the cost of housing is too high. These are all systemic issues that we're not addressing. Well, specifically, Republicans are not addressing. More, they even want to take away your health care. They've already cut $1 trillion from Medicaid. They've already not funded ACA subsidies. So in December, at the end of December, millions of Americans, 22 million Americans, will lose their health care coverage because they won't be able to afford the insurance without subsidies. We have a party that doesn't want to govern. We have a party that doesn't care about middle class, lower middle class, and poor. We have a party that only cares about their billionaire donors. We have a party that lies to your face, that goes on TV and says that they're fighting for health care while behind the scenes they're cutting it. While behind the scenes they cut $1 trillion from Medicaid. While behind the scenes they are not funding ACA. While behind the scenes, right, in the big beautiful bill, right, they exploded the deficit by $4.8 trillion. right? They raise taxes on the lower 20%. They're cutting millions of acres of federal land. They're firing federal workers. They're forcing them out. This is what we are going to have the next 3 years. More of this, more of less health insurance, more of higher prices, more of everything for the rich and less for the middle class. This is where we're at. This is what happens when you have a billionaire. When you have a billionaire as president, he only cares about himself, enriching himself and his billionaire buddies. Let's take a look at Eminem. Yes, Eminem. He made an amazing point. I want you guys to watch this video and you're going to see what I'm talking about.
How in the fuck do you feel like you relate to a billionaire who has never known struggle his entire fucking life, watching him play to his base that thinks that he cares about them, and it's actually the people that he cares about the fucking least? I will say this, he talks a good one. And if you're in his base, you're a core, let's say you're going to the rallies or whatever, you watch him on TV, you hear him talking this shit, there's part of me that understands, like, all right, he's somehow still got them because he's brainwashing them into...
And that's what it is. It is absolutely true. The brainwashing. How could you possibly relate, if you're an average middle class, lower middle class, or poor person, to a billionaire? He has never known the struggles of the middle class. Never. He has been rich his whole life, and his daddy gave him all his money. He's never had to suffer. And you think this guy cares about you? He does everything he does is to enrich himself and his billionaire buddies. Eminem's like, how could you possibly relate to this guy? Why are you defending a billionaire? Why do Republicans defend billionaires and not people in their own class? It is so bizarre. They don't care about you. Shout out to Eminem because he absolutely killed that. He's right. Do not relate to a billionaire because you can't. They don't care about you. That is obvious. If you believe in fighting for the middle class, if you believe in economic justice and fighting against political corruption and corporate greed, please consider subscribing. That's what this channel is about. I would really appreciate it. It would help me out a lot if you would subscribe and like. And I'll see you guys in the next one.